Have you ever had something so weird, so unbelievable happen to you that years later, you're still trying to make sense of it? Hey guys, it's Michelle, and I'm back with another story. Welcome to episode 2. Sit back, relax, get a cup of coffee, and listen closely to what I'm about to tell you. In 1998, while in the midst of ending my 11-year marriage and raising 2 young boys, money was tight. Ever since my mother crossed in 1982, she was a constant, energetic force in my life. One month, when the bills were many and the dollars were few, I heard a familiar refrain from the ethers. Road trip. Now, the word road trip had come to signify a financial blessing from across the veil. It first started when I got married in 1987, but that's a story for another day. On March 17th, St. Patrick's Day, was when I got the call. The boys loved our road trips because it was at that time when they too could get a mini vacation. If they were lucky, they could swim all day and play video games as long as they wanted. Las Vegas was the destination and fun was the objective. Once we got there, I fed the boys before dropping them off at our usual babysitters. Being that it was St. Patrick's Day, I decided to go and gamble at Fitzgerald's Casino, thinking my luck would be better there on this day. I found a machine and sat down. The casino was giving away holiday goodies. A large green hat, a wand with a 4-leaf clover on the tip, and a plastic necklace with green beads. Green beer was being served, but since I didn't drink, I passed on that. About 45 minutes in, I heard a faint voice mumbling. A few minutes later, I heard it again, only this time it was louder. The voice with an Irish accent said, "Wrong machine, lassie." I immediately looked behind me. It was just people walking past. I shrugged and went back to playing. Then I heard it again, but this time, for a brief second, a leprechaun appeared. He pointed towards a machine and said, "That one, lassie." After getting over the initial shock, I got up and moved to the other machine. I played for another 30 minutes when all of a sudden the machine began to ring loudly. People started looking at me. I wasn't quite sure how much I had won. But a slot monitor walked up to me and said, "Congratulations." She then called for someone on her walkie-talkie. A security guard and a man in a black suit showed up. They brought me some buckets to scoop the coins into. Back then, the machine still paid out in coins. I finally figured out that I had won about 50,000 quarters, or $12,500. The leprechaun was looking quite smug as the machine spilled its spoils. After cashing out, I headed for the car. I wasn't really comfortable carrying that much money in cash. No one should. When I got to the car, guess who was waiting for me? Yeah, it was the leprechaun. I thanked him for the advice on the machine. He said his name was O'Grady and he needed a favor. A friend of his, named Henry, had misplaced his family. Surprise! Henry is a unicorn. Well, why the hell not? The money he helped me win was payment for my help. Yep, it's getting weirder. I said to him, "How can I help locate a missing unicorn family when they aren't supposed to exist?" "Oh, and by the way, neither should you." He said to me, "String theory, lassie. The idea of string theory in physics is that there are 11 dimensions, 4 of which we can see and 6 that are curled tiny strings which we can't. They live in the strings. Otherworldly beings such as themselves reside in those tiny unseen strings." Okay then. Sarcastically thinking to myself, you're sitting here, talking to a leprechaun about his BFF, a unicorn. Okay, great. Apparently, in Ireland, O'Grady lives near a unicorn forest. A while back, Henry's little one got lost and O'Grady found him. And ever since, the two have been friends. Now, I don't know about you, but from all the stories I've ever heard, leprechauns are not very nice. They love to prank humans and should not be trusted. Well, I guess I'm a glutton for punishment because I actually felt sorry for him. When they call for help from humans, it's like a desperate call to 911. They don't know who will respond. They only know the helpers have had a universal background check of sorts. We picked up the boys from the sitters and headed home, stopping at a Shell gas station for snacks. While we were there, I felt the energy of 3 natives. They also needed help. I just shrugged and said, "Come on, the more the merrier." Now again, I have to tell you, to this very day, I still don't have the words to describe this situation. My spiritual hearing comes 2 ways. Sometimes it's as if they are standing directly next to my ear. Other times, it's telepathically, like they are putting the words in my head. With my new friends, it's telepathic, but O'Grady is the exception. He sounded like he was standing next to me. O'Grady had already explained how he and Henry had become BFFs. Their friendship is why he sought help, even if it meant he had to get it from a dreaded and fearful human. As for the 3 natives, there was a young female, a young male, and an elder. I only remember the name of the elder. His name was Ta Kwa. They were from the Serrano tribe, here in the Mojave Desert. The 3 of them were family, a grandfather and his grandchildren. Their village was attacked and burned, and they were killed, while the others were out hunting. The elder man said he got confused in the spirit world and couldn't find his people. There was a connection with all of these situations, family loss, including my own. At any rate, they all found me, and I was supposed to help them. Wasn't sure how, but obviously I needed to get up to speed quickly. And no, I had no idea where to even start. But I had to try. They were counting on me to help them. It wasn't lost on me. In helping them, I could help myself. I decided that the waxing moon was the best time, because it is said that is when the energy is strongest for boosting intentions and aligning with the energy of attraction. I wanted to attract the Serrano tribe members to come and get their lost family. The same for Henry. I knew that we would have to wait at least 30 days because we were in a Mercury retrograde and communications can be disrupted, and I didn't want that. When the day finally arrived, I gathered the items I'd need for the ceremony: tobacco, sweetgrass, sage, and cedar. Having gathered everything needed, the boys and I headed out towards Bell Mountain. It was indeed shaped like a bell, but flat on the top. It actually created a medicine wheel. In native culture, this calls the 4 directions. I thought it appropriate, since we weren't sure in which direction the tribe was. I set up the fire and faced east. I poured the ingredients of the medicine bag into the fire. We all prayed and invoked Great Spirit, Creator. After about 30 minutes, across the mountain ridge, we saw natives on horseback. They had gotten the call. It looked like there were hundreds of them. As they held aloft their coup sticks, we knew that our adopted family were finally going home. The elder gave us a family blessing, and the tears began to roll down my cheeks. This was a very emotional event. As the energy pulled back and we released the connection, just like that, it was over. Almost 2 months in the making and 30 minutes for it all to be over. The boys and I gathered the remnants of the items we brought with us and put them back into the leather bag. While writing this, I asked my adult son if he remembered the event. Hollis, who was 8 at the time of all of this, said he did, but also mentioned how he felt his childhood was filled with magic and heavy spiritual activity. He admitted, though, that he never saw any of the entities, but he could feel them. After our crossing over ritual, we went back home. When we got there, interestingly, O'Grady said that he and Henry could now leave. Somehow our ceremony had connected Henry with his lost family. Horse noises emanated from the backyard. As I slid open the door, there was another adult unicorn and 2 smaller ones. This was Henry's family. The other adult unicorn stepped forward. She didn't communicate, but bowed her head towards the boys and I. Once again, the tears started to flow. Both Henry and O'Grady thanked me, and in an instant they were all gone. For the first time in 3 months, the house was quiet. In hindsight, Hollis is right. It was a magical and spiritually active time in our lives. However, not much has changed. I still see and interact with the spirit world, but now that I'm older, there is a deeper understanding to my encounters. Until next time, keep an open mind because you never know if that sound you hear is a spirit trying to connect with you.